Salve, amice, and welcome. Today we are in John chapter 3, looking at verses 23 and 24 of the second of our small paragraphs. Here is our rubric, everything that we're looking for as we go through this text. Let's go ahead and get started. Erat autumn et Ioannes baptizans in ainon juxta salem, qui aquae multae erant, illuc et adveniabant et baptizabantur. Non dum enim missus fuerat in carcarem Ioannes. There we go. Very first word is something quite familiar to us. This is our imperfect form of sum. It's third person and singular. Don't need to do any more than that. It means was. However, since it's at the beginning of the sentence, this may be an indication for us that this is a linking verb, not acting as a normal linking verb, but pointing out the existence of something. We'll know more when we take a look further ahead. Autumn we know means but. Corresponds to day, as Jerome uses them. Et means and, or also, or even, technically. Ioannes, a name we haven't seen in quite a while. ES right there doesn't really tell us much, except that this is the Latin pulling it directly from the Greek. In the Greek we would have eta sigma there, so that would make it a long E and nominative, singular, masculine as our subject. Baptizans. Okay, we have in S right there, right off of the present stem with a connecting vowel A. We know now that this is a present active participle. Nominative, singular, and in this case masculine because John is masculine. Masculine, present. In prepositional phrase, einon. Okay, juxta is the wrong form to be part of this prepositional phrase, so it must end in einon. Einon is not a native Latin word, and let alone, as far as I'm aware, a native Greek word. So we can't decline it. We don't know what form that in is really taking. I would assume this is a place where it's going to write indeclinable. Spelled the same way in English as in Latin. Juxta. Juxta is an interesting word. I don't know that I have run into it more than a couple times in my life working with Latin. This one is an adverb, or it is a preposition. As an adverb, it means close, alike, or equally. As a preposition, it takes the accusative and it means near, by, or to. So since we have another place name right there, but this is unfortunately a place name that does not decline any more than einon does, we don't know what form it's supposed to be. It could be close to Salem, it could be alike Salem, it could be equally like Salem. I don't think that's how it would be properly used. Or it could be acting as a preposition near by Salem or near to Salem. Since the preposition is the one that makes the most sense right there, that is how I'm going to treat it. And if the Greek gives us any indication that we should be expecting an adverb with those other meanings, yeah, well then the Latin's fine anyway. So near, by, another one spelled exactly the same way in Latin as in English. Quia, this could mean that or because. We don't know without proper context, so we need to take a look at the rest of this paragraph, this rest clause before we continue. Aquae, AE right there. Multi-AE again, we'll get to those in a minute. Erant, so this is going to be the plural form of this imperfect. Were waters much, and technically this, not much, many. This could just be a plural for the singular to talk about the entirety of the Jordan, or it could be referring to a lot of rivers, streams near there flowing into the Jordan. Since I haven't been to that part of the world yet, I don't know. So I'd write down both of those, plural for the singular or just plain old plural. Illuc, we saw that before. This is a locative word meaning there or in that place. So we've got a new clause right there. So let's go ahead and figure this one out. But John was in Einon near Salem because there were many waters. But John was in Einon near Salem that there were many waters. It has to be but, because. Okay, et and adveniabant, B-A-N-T, that's going to be an imperfect active. And this is, of course, third person plural. And it is indicative. I don't know why I did it that way. So we could go back to many waters. Many waters were coming to there. No duh, water flows. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It has to be referring to the people in that area, in Einan, near Salem. They were coming. I guess we could say there because it had, whatever. Et, and we'll get to the other options of the imperfect in a minute. Baptizabantur, interesting. So here we've got another imperfect with bant, but that you are makes it passive. Otherwise, it is the same as this one right here. And they were being baptized. So now we can stop here since we've come to the end of verse 23 and look at the different options for the imperfect. So we have the inceptive, which means they began to, the habitual, they kept or they used to, the emphatic, they emphatically were doing these things, and then we have the continuous, which is were. So they began coming and they began to be baptized. They kept coming and they kept being baptized. They used to come and they used to be baptized. They came and they were baptized, or they were coming and they were baptized, being baptized. So the inceptive does not work with not inceptive. The continuous, not continuous. Gosh, eventually I will get it. There's a phone ringing in the background. It's very distracting. The habitual doesn't work with baptizing because it was a one-time thing. You go, you be baptized for the repentance. So that one doesn't work. Inceptive could be, except we know that John has been doing this for a long time now. It's Jesus who just started doing this, so that doesn't work. Continual, I think that one's the best one. Emphatic, why would it be emphatic? So anyway, I'm going to leave these as continuous. Let's move on to 24. Non-dum enim missus fuerat. Fuerat. Erat as our ending, so it's going to be third person singular exactly like this, except that it's off of our third principal part of sum, making this pluperfect. Third singular pluperfect active indicative. And then as we take a look at this, we've got missus right before that, which is from mitto, mittere, misi, misum. So this is a nominative singular masculine perfect passive participle. It's interesting to see a pluperfect with a perfect participle. I forget what that means, but could be a sort of paraphrastic. However, seeing a paraphrastic made with a pluperfect form of sum is just odd. So we'll figure that out in a minute. Let's go to non-dum. Non-dum means not yet. And enim means for. Now I want to take a look ahead. And carcerem, got a prepositional phrase there plus accusative. Em carcer is singular. Carceres, I think that's masculine. This is yet another instance where you will have to wait for the note to suddenly appear and clear up whether or not it's masculine or feminine. In the meantime, I'm going to leave that blank. Ioannis, exact same form as there, so we've got our subject. John, for John had not yet been, having been thrown into prison. Yeah, that it does make sense. So that's good. Okay, or had not been incarcerated, if we'd really want to. But that would be leaving out missus and in. So had been, having been shortened, thrown, or sent. Okay, there we go. Now we just want to take a look at this in its own context to make sure that what we have written down actually properly makes sense. But also, John was baptizing in Einan nearby Salem because there were many waters there, and they were coming and they were being baptized. For John had not yet been, having been sent into prison. So yeah, other than the weird way that sounds in English, it's fine. I think we could leave out the having been, which is often the case. This looks fine. We can quite frequently actually just treat perfect passive participles as normal adjectives, leaving out the having been. Hence my abbreviation. Now from verse 22. After these things, Jesus came where he comes, and his disciples into Judah, the land of Judah. And there he was, keeping back, delaying, staying with them, and was baptizing. But John was also in Ainon, baptizing nearby Salem, because there were many waters, much water there. And they were coming, and they were being baptized. For John had not yet been sent into prison. Okay, so it makes plenty of sense. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you and not too confusing, as it often seems very confusing to me. Please have a good day. I don't know why I'm asking you to do that if you don't have much control, but I hope you have a good day. Farewell. Hey, not asleep yet? That's okay. I've got tons of other equally sleep-inducing videos for you to watch. Check them out.